Hello, welcome back to the Digital Fantasy Sports Network. Today we have some breaking news, and it has to do with the Cleveland Browns organization, which should come to no surprise to anyone when concerning their players, contracts, all these things. Today we are learning, actually it happened probably about 14 hours ago, Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins arrested in Florida on battery slash domestic violence charge. Domestic violence. So assault and battery. So this is coming from Cleveland, Ohio reports. Browns running back Quinshon Judkins was arrested on Saturday in Fort Lauderdale. According to the Broward County arrest records, Judkins is facing a charge of battery and domestic violence. A Browns spokesman say that the team is aware and they are gathering more information. Well, I'm sure you are aware, and you might be very well disappointed. You just drafted this young man to replace, Nick Chubb. Now, according to Sergeant David Soka with the Fort Lauderdale Police Media Relations Department, officer responded to the 1500 block of West Cypress Creek Road in reference to the delayed battery. Officers arrived on the scene and spoke with the victim. During their preliminary investigation, it was determined a battery had occurred. They did not release the name of the victim. The officers made the contact with the suspect and placed him into custody. He was transported to the Broward County Main Jail. Judkins has been charged with a misdemeanor battery. The Browns selected Judkins, number 36 overall, like I said, to replace Nick Chubb, and this was just this year. 2025 NFL draft, with the expectation he would take over as the primary running back this season. Okay, we haven't even reached preseason yet, and this guy is already starting off on the wrong foot. Now, we know we don't have all the information, so it's too early to assume and see if it was self-defense, whatever. We don't know, but it never looks good when an athlete, or any male for that matter, has any affiliation with assault and battery. He is the one that initiated the violence. How did we get to this point? Now, Judkins rushed for like 1,060 yards, 14 touchdowns last season for Ohio State. We all know the kid, tremendous talent, right? And he was splitting the backfield with Travion Henderson. Okay. He transferred to the Buckeyes after 2 seasons at Ole Miss, where he rushed for 2,725 yards. He had 31 touchdowns in 26 games. You're talking about production. This young man is a production machine. So I'm sure when Cleveland drafted him, they had high hopes, because to fill the shoes of Nick Chubb, man, that's a big job, because we know Nick Chubb was a locomotive. This guy was the Derrick Henry 2.0. Nick Chubb was pretty much carrying the Cleveland Browns. Okay. And I just wish that when Cleveland had Baker Mayfield, that would have worked out, because they feeling it right now. Cleveland they continue to put themselves in position where the organization just looks worse and worse and worse. And you're trying to understand, especially with this long, egregious contract with Deshaun Watson. And he is not the quarterback that he was when he was with Houston Texans. When he was with Houston Texans, man, we know. But once again, Deshaun Watson had got in trouble. Okay, he had an altercation. Then the Houston Texans had to release him. Now we have this young man, with this high potential, Judkins. Now he's in trouble. It's like, man, these guys make mistake after mistake that organization does. I'm like, Cleveland, if y'all want somebody to really fix that organization, contact me. I'll do it. It's not that hard, because it's more than just evaluating talent, but you have to evaluate mental health. You have to evaluate people as a person. Like, before I just go out and grab a guy because he's super athletic, I need to evaluate his mental state and look at what type of people do he hang around. And I get it, young people are going to be young people, but at the end of the day, man, okay, you're going to know that tree by the fruit that it bears. Birds of a feather, they flock together. You know the old saying. So you have this talent, and I'm going to tell you, to make it to the NFL, it is very slim, very slim. And to go in the first round, okay, that is very slim. There are so many talented people out there that are walking the straight line, the straight and narrow. They're good model citizens, but they get overlooked. And here we go. We jump on a guy because he's talented, but then he comes with all this baggage, all this luggage, and he carries it into the organization. Now, is it all his fault? No, because you know the signs were there. The writing was on the wall. Now, I'm not going to say this, young man. I'm not saying get rid of him or anything like that. But I am just saying, man, this applies even when you do your fantasy draft, okay? So when you do your fantasy draft, especially with these rookies, you want to wait, be patient. Now, Jaden Daniels, okay, he's going into his sophomore year, and they already trying to crown him. They saying he's the best quarterback in the NFC. Not in the league, but in the NFC. They elevating him over Jalen Hurts. They elevating him, you know, pretty much that's the competition, because you really can't count Dak Prescott, because Dak can throw for 4,000 yards. But, I mean, he's so inconsistent. He ain't winning no playoff games. I mean, Dallas is a joke. Okay, Dallas organization is a joke. And I know you Dallas fans are going to get mad at me. That's fine. But the reality is, it is a joke down there in Jerry's world. So I'm avoiding. Now, just because you don't like a player don't mean you should avoid him when it comes to fantasy. But like I said, if y'all go back and watch my other video, okay, my draft video, July 2025, that I did on Yahoo, go out there and check it out, show you how to dominate your draft. I did mention how I'm just avoiding Dallas Cowboys. And you're like, well, they got CeeDee Lamb. That's fine, they got CeeDee Lamb. But here's the thing, last year he only had around 6 or 7 touchdowns. He didn't have double-digit touchdowns. Now, yeah, he was up there in the top 5 or 6 in receptions and targets. That's fine, but they don't translate into touchdowns. You know why? Because Dak, he will spread that ball around. Yeah, he's going to target CeeDee Lamb, but when they get down that red zone, he's looking for everybody else. Okay? So it's one of those things, kind of like how Tom Brady used to do before he had Randy Moss, when he would always just spread the ball around. Right now you see it with Patrick Mahomes. You know, before, after Tyreek left, it used to just be, you know, Travis Kelce. But now, as they've gotten older, you don't know who he's going to throw the ball to in Kansas City. You don't know who Mahomes is going to get the ball to. So you wonder why Worthy is sitting there at the 8th and 9th round. And Travis Kelce, he's getting older. Okay, we don't know. Xavier Worthy, yes, he's talented, he's fast, he's shifty, he has the skill. But once again, Patrick Mahomes is not looking to just target one person. That is just not how they play football down there. And I respect that. But I'm looking for quarterbacks who have a specific target that they know, you are my number one option. When I break for that huddle, I am looking for you because I trust you that you're going to beat the guy that's standing in front of you. Okay? So, anyway, Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, and now the young man Judkins. Okay? And I sincerely hope everything pans out for this young man and he can get back to work. You know, but it is a shame. But this is going to affect him moving forward with his contracts. Okay, this is going to affect him. Now, when you guys are drafting, you need to consider, okay, what are these players doing? Now, his physicality, his contact balance, the way he runs with strength, and I'm talking about Judkins, it's something I've seen in Nick as an example of those are things, and I'm not saying that this is Nick Chubb. Nick is just, again, what Nick means to this organization is beyond like words, okay? Because when he was there, let me put it like that, because Nick was that workhorse, okay? And we all know Cleveland love to pound the ball. They're going to run it down your throat. But what I'm saying here is this style of play is just going to fit very nicely with what they're trying to do. So it's a nice compliment to pretty much pick up where they left off with Nick Chubb. But at the end of the day, man, this is in Judkins' hands. This position, it's up to him. Okay? He's going to be the one who's going to have to make some life changes. All right? You got to look at it, man. You got too much to lose. And these athletes going out to these clubs and these strip bars, and why? Dude, you get away from that lifestyle. Let it go. You are on another level. You're on another platform. And you're looking at, man, I grew up with these people. These my homies. Stop. Stop. Because at the end of the day, everybody is not meant to be with you on your journey. They with you for a season. Y'all know how it is. Seasons change, and so should your surroundings. But they say iron sharpens iron. So if you really want to be a true professional, get around like-minded people who are trying to better themselves and be entrepreneurs, because the NFL, as they say, is not for long. So you're going to have to build a business while you working on your craft in the NFL, because you could get injured. Next thing you know, you're waived. Now you're in the free agent market. Nobody else wants you. Or if they do want you, your contract ain't going to be nothing but pennies on the dollar. It's only going to make you even more frustrated. And your value is just going to go down. Next thing you know, they start shifting you around. You end up at the Jets. You know, places like that where pretty much like they say teams go to die. Their careers go to die. When you go to the Jets, man, it's just like, oh, my God. Now, Garrett Wilson, on the other hand, he's there. He's that dude for New York Jets. He is that dude. I don't see them getting rid of him. I do not see them getting rid of him. But typically, when you've been a star athlete, high caliber athlete, and they ship you off to like the Jets, man, you pretty much toast. Because they're not going to use you. They just don't care. There's a couple of organizations out there, you just scratch your head and you're like, man, what are y'all doing? Including Jerry's World. They have all the potential in the world. You see what they did to Zeke? See what they did to Zeke? Man, they let this dude go, and then they bring him back for one more season, and then they cut him again. It's a joke. You know, at this point, you just become a little puppet. You're just a little pawn in their game. But anyway, this was some breaking news that I had for you guys, man. Y'all keep an eye out on it. I got another video that's getting ready to drop, because we're going to talk about the fantasy football draft and the strategies that I had where I can show you how to dominate your draft. Also, we're going to touch on, you know, projections versus reality. Okay, so this next video that's coming up, once again, I had to do this video because y'all need to know and keep an eye out on these things, man, when you're making your draft and you're trying to, you know, get your strategy down. Okay, but the next draft, I'm going to talk about the reality and the projections. Okay, we're going to go back and we're going to revisit some things, because there's a lot of people out there giving the information and everybody has the same top 5. Okay, but once you get beyond that top 5, it's up for grabs. If you got 10 channels and they all just regurgitating what everybody else saying, dude, you're not going to win. They setting you up for failure. But in the meantime, man, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, smash that like button. Make sure y'all stay tuned. It's your boy Marcus. Until the next video, y'all stay tuned. I'm out. Peace.
Your ultimate destination for fantasy football dominance.